Hits 96.1.
If you want to ever get your confession in anonymously, just text the word hits with your confession and send it to 96893.
Here's the first Queen City Confessions. I hate getting flowers for Valentine's Day. I've never liked them. They die in a few days, and I feel like it's kind of a default gift. And honestly, I'd rather have literally anything more meaningful. But every single Valentine's Day and birthday, my fiance proudly walks in with a huge bouquet, beaming like he just pulled off the most romantic gesture in history. And I pretend to love them because I don't have the heart to crush his excitement. He gets so proud, making a big deal about picking the perfect ones. And I just smile and act like it's the best thing ever. I know I should just tell the truth, but I don't want to hurt his feelings.
Listen, if this is your fault, like you can't, this is like the definition of crazy business, because you can't just not say something and then be disappointed and resentful every single year.
Right.
Like it doesn't, he would be way more crushed to know that you are feigning, excitement over this gift of his. Like he just wants to know what you want, and you don't have to. This is what I don't understand. Like people, like you don't have to come in and be like, I hate flowers. You just don't have to do it that way. Sometime that's not Valentine's Day or any kind of day, could be some random day in May. You're like, you know what I would really like for like a Valentine's Day or something is fill in the blank.
A nice meal
or something, or like if you're out somewhere and you see flowers and you're like, I really like flowers, but I don't love them that much as gifts. And it can open that dialogue. You don't have to come in hot and poo on them, but you do have to be honest.
And that's the hard part of being in a relationship, is being honest. You don't have to be brutally honest to hurt someone's feelings, but that's how they get to know you a little bit better.
Right.
Because you don't want them living their whole life thinking one thing about you when that's not the truth.
Yeah, that's not even really you.
Here's a next Queen City confession. I made the mistake of asking my best friend about her salary, and now I can't stop thinking about it. We were casually talking about work when she mentioned her recent raise. Out of curiosity, I asked how much she's making now, and I immediately regretted it. She out-earns me by a lot. It's weird because I've never been the jealous type, but now I'm sitting here comparing everything. We have similar jobs, similar degrees, and yet she's almost $500,000 and I'm nowhere close to that. It's not her fault, but knowing this has put a strain in our friendship. I hate feeling like this, but it's been hard to shake.
That is rough.
Yeah.
Money does stuff to people, especially if you're not, if you're even struggling a little bit, that resentment can build. So I don't know. I mean, it's like you opened Pandora's box and now you can't put it back in.
I mean, I think you just have to focus on yourself. That's easier said than done.
Right.
But it's like, all right, so what can I do to get to that? And maybe you can ask her. You'd be like, hey, you told me that information. What steps did you take to get to that? Because I feel like sometimes, and at least for me, who has bouts of jealousy when it comes to people's careers and things.
Yeah.
I have to ask myself, okay, well, instead of me just sitting here spinning and spiraling out of control, what can I do to get that? What can I do today or this week or this month or this year to get closer to that? And then it makes me feel a little bit more proactive, like I'm doing something to get there.
No notes. Absolutely.
Here's the last Queen City confession. As a hairstylist, I hear everything, especially around Valentine's Day when everyone's getting glammed up for the big plans. But this week, I realized something that has me shook. I did hair for 2 different women, both getting ready for romantic Valentine's plans with their boyfriends. And it turns out they're dating the same guy.
Oh, no.
At first, I thought I was imagining things, but when they both describe the same restaurant and the same sweet plans their guy has planned, it clicked. Now I don't know what to do. I'm sitting on prime tea, but is it my place to spill it?
Oh.
What if it's a mistake and you don't? And it's not the truth.
Right. Like, are you 100% sure?
Right. Did they both say Brian Smith?
Right.
Who's taking us to Noda Company store?
Right. I don't
I mean,
know.
probably it's probably
It's
the
probably
same
the same person.
I was just-
This has happened. I read some random story once where this happened, but the women were sitting next to each other. It was different stylists,
oh.
but the women were like chit chatting with each other about their plans, and then they found out they were dating the same guy.
I mean, I feel like that's not your business. I would stay out of it
I know. Yeah, that's probably
because
not.
you've done both of their hair, so now you're gonna text them and be like, by the way, girl, I had somebody else this week. Like, I don't know. I just feel like that's because you don't have any proof.
You don't have proof, especially since it really is speculation because of the same restaurant and everything. Like, you're probably right, obviously, but which one do you tell? Like, it just, yeah.
I am curious though. I'd love to do this later in the show or tomorrow. If you've worked or you work in one of those industries that you've caught a cheater on Valentine's Day, how did that play out? Because maybe you're a hairstylist like this, or you're an Uber driver, or maybe you're a bartender at a restaurant and you've seen a guy come in with the same or different women,
Right.
2 different nights.
I'm sure that happens.
How did that play out? Text hits in your message to 96893. It is 7:15. The countdown is on for producer Kelvin's wedding in a few weeks. And he is putting a lot of pressure on himself to get this one thing done for the big day. But is it safe? Producer Kelvin tells us what he's putting himself through with this pressure
Right.
for his wedding next.